improve your brain performance, your memory instantly. And now I'll tell you the secret, and write down in the comments how it works for you. I'm talking about salt here, but salt isn't just salt. Now, if you buy table salt, it usually has iodine in it. Then it's refined, and then there's aluminum oxide and titanium oxide in it. And these have been proven by the European Committee to be labeled as carcinogenic. So definitely avoid these substances. Now I'm talking about natural unrefined salt here. It's important that you pay attention. Unrefined salt affects the body quite differently than refined salt does. And I'll explain the connections to you, and about my self-experiment that I did. I can tell you a lot about that. The first point is that when you buy it, you look for unrefined salt, and that all the natural substances are still in the salt. And now I'll show you something here. This unrefined salt has a certain property, and you'll see it here. I'm showing you now in the video that it clumps together. This free-flowing salt, which has anti-caking agents in it, is worthless, and quite the opposite. It makes you sick. It raises blood pressure. And now first to the result of what I did. So I took about 20 grams of the salt daily, roughly this amount here, early in the morning, at noon, and also in the evening. And my blood pressure didn't go up. And for the colleagues I taught this to, by the way, it didn't either. Then I got an incredible boost of energy. I mean, a physical energy. I was bursting with energy, and by the way, also with a good mood. I was in such a good mood early in the morning. I'm usually a morning grouch, but I was able to get going. It's incredible, the good mood. And above all, the memory was strengthened so that you have a much better memory. I'll put this back in, then I can also explain to you why it works that way, the better memory. Because you have to know one thing. Your brain here, this is just your brain. It's this big. It swims in a salt brine. Now, if you have too little salt, then less salt brine reaches your brain, and the memory performance and brain performance decreases, by the way, also in the entire body. Namely, if there's a synapse here and a synapse here, quite simply, then here is the synaptic cleft. And for brain performance to happen here from one synapse to the next, it needs a conductive carrier medium, and that is salt. And that's not just for the brain, it's for all the muscles in the body as well, and for the joints. So that salt then provides and clears the energy pathways. If you have an accident, what happens first? Well, you get saline, right? My girlfriend, she just went to the hospital. The first thing they did, saline solution. It was an emergency. Yes, everyone gets it. My buddies, the doctors, also confirmed that saline is given immediately. Then the body needs salt, but not the refined, free-flowing salt. That is extremely harmful. A natural salt. The next thing is, I also took it in the evening, about 5 grams, and it tastes so wonderful when I put it on bread, garlic, and a bit of onion, and then add the salt. Wonderful. The result was I was so full of energy I couldn't even fall asleep at first, but I noticed that I can get by with less sleep, and in the early morning I still woke up full of energy. So this is just my first experience that I've gained with the salt so far. And so my recommendation is, give it a try yourself right away. But you can also make a salt brine yourself. It's actually quite interesting. Then you get some halite salt. These salt chunks, they're hard. You can't even just crush them, and you put them in your water, heat it up so it dissolves, and then the sediments you can't use settle at the bottom. Often with Himalayan salt, it's the case that it's colored. Interesting. And I also found salt in the Edeka supermarket. It could be that it was like that. It was reported to me, I can't verify the authenticity, now I've covered myself legally, that although it was called natural salt, it was still processed and refined, and anti-caking agents were added again. So aluminum oxide, titanium oxide, you have to make sure that it doesn't have any. So energy levels, memory, brain performance have been increased. In ancient times, they also used to say, Salaria, the salt, white gold. Just give that a try. So I got myself some salt here in Cambodia and checked with the company. It's natural, not refined, and has no chemical additives. And that's why it's not quite pearl white. It's a bit gray. And above all, the salt has a certain quality. I bought salt here from Fish Island Community, who supports small children growing up without parents. It was quite a bit more expensive, but I don't care. And the salt, it really becomes like chunks form because of the humidity that's here. Yes, a long time ago, people also used to put rice in salt so that it wouldn't clump. Yes, it clumps. And here too, it's starting to clump, even though I've only had it open for a few days. and it tastes completely different just taking some every now and then. And now it's important, especially here I sweat much more. Here at 30 degrees in the shade and at night muggy air in Campot. And definitely during sports, when I go boxing, I sweat an immense amount and then I feel exhausted. Then I take, well, maybe 5 grams of salt, 5 grams, you heard right, and then I put it in my mouth and then I drink something with it and then I suddenly have a different energy. Then I can get going again, right? I also ask myself, yeah, how can it be so fast? And if you have any idea about that, write it down in the comments. So it's an energy supplier, if you know anything about that. By the way, I can recommend Dr. Berg. He wrote something, if you like drinking coffee like I do, you should also consume salt. Salt was changed at some point with anti-caking agents, but I don't want to go into that. I just want to talk about what it's done for me. My 30-day challenge. I'm bursting with energy. I hardly get tired. Well, I do get tired, then I lie down and Misha falls asleep in maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Boom, I'm out. It's quite amazing, even though I'm bursting with energy. I take it after exercise, during exercise, even before exercise, or just whenever I feel like it. And the most amazing thing is I don't feel overly thirsty. Now, a question for the community. Try it out for a week. Buy some good salt, fleur de sel or halite salt. Make your own brine, whatever works for you. And share your experience in the comments, or if you have any questions, post them down below so we can discuss the physical benefits. And by the way, I'm 67 years old and at the peak of my physical performance. And why is that? Well, partly because of my Tai Chi. It's due to my diet and above all my mindset. I'd love to share more about that, so subscribe to the channel to help me grow. Share this video with others who suffer from energy flow issues, poor concentration, lack of stamina, reduced brain function, or forgetfulness. Thank you so much. Yours, Michael.
Enhanced, you will find some wonderful pictures of Cambodia and the natural salt fields. I have visited them and I saw how the people are working there and how they produce the natural unrefined salt. And the people are very proud to sell that. You can buy that at the salt fields and it's incredible how tasty it is. And this is the first layer of the Cambodian salt. You can see that directly they produce the salt with the natural water. They clean first the water and then they transport it just by hand from the salt fields to the huts, and they take only the top of the first layer and they call it the rose salt. And it tastes so wonderful. It's very much work, and 1 kilogram natural salt costs only $5. Maybe you can buy it in the US or wherever you are in